What's up, everybody? This is Hussein again on video 3. So about 2 years into the basement, I was doing well, man. Then there was some bad months, some good months, and at this point, I'm studying architecture at Portland State. Hustling, doing my thing over there, and so there's times where I took weeks off. I didn't print anything, and there was times where I was really busy with both. You know, every other t-shirt I wore was my own, so it made me proud, and I became just kind of like t-shirt guy. So everybody kind of knew that this is what I was doing. I was making t-shirts. And then it was really cool. I had an opportunity to sign up to go to India. After I signed up and I got accepted to go, I met a couple of guys, and these two guys had a very interesting way of doing things. They offered up a deal where I would move the shop to their garage, essentially. A little bit bigger space and a lot more opportunity. So, you know, they kind of promised me that, you know, they would provide me with work that they were getting from external clients, and that I would screen print a lot more and I would make a lot more money. And they would also invest in a press, a new one, which was great. So I take it up. I really didn't sign any deals. I didn't sign any contracts. I was young. I was kind of immature as to what I was thinking, what I was doing. I was just kind of like, yeah, let's make more money. Let's screen print more t-shirts. You know, when we got the equipment there and everything was cool, you know, after the first month or so, they start like, you know, hey, you need to pay rent, you know, and I'm pay rent, you know, okay, fine. I'll give you $100 a month to be here to do my thing. And then the next thing after that, these guys went off and took screen printing classes, which I didn't care, you know, that's fine. And so they started printing all the work that they were getting, the work that I was gonna get. And so that became a little frustrating. A few weeks later, these guys started really using up the press like a lot. They would lock the garage door, and I wouldn't have access to it. I mean, they were doing some really shady things at the time, man, and it was really frustrating. And you know, I don't know if they had the worst intent, bad intentions, good intentions. It is what it is at this point. But I think it was one of those learning experiences that I wouldn't put on anybody, because I was struggling. I was, you know, at this point, I had already sold my stuff to basically invest in this new equipment with them. You know, after a few months, about 6 months of like just relentlessly, you know, there was a few times where we got into arguments. In my mind, I said, you know, I think this is an extremely bad decision and I have to get out. I have to get out of this. And I knew that if I were to get into it with them about the money and how much I invested in the machinery and things like that, it was gonna turn ugly. And so one day I walked in upstairs in their kitchen where they were both working, and I told them, hey, look guys, I appreciate the opportunity of working with you, but I don't think this is gonna work anymore. I'm out. Y'all can keep everything. I don't want anything. I don't want a squeegee. I don't want anything. You know, I realized that energy wasted. I could have stayed at the basement, kept doing what I was doing, expanded a little bit, but for my own, as opposed to help these guys really start a business that I had to walk away from. Let's just say those few weeks weren't the best in my life at that time. I was very down, very frustrated with my decisions. But it goes to show, you know, when you get into a deal, you're not necessarily getting it for cheap. And you're not necessarily coming out on top. Study, learn who you're going into business with, write down your contracts, your commitments, make sure those things are, you know, legit. Anytime there's money on the line and there's relationships on the line, you want to be as legit as possible. And if need be, bring in a lawyer or counsel. But I had to learn my hard way, and that's okay. After that, though, the trip for India was coming up, and it was at this point about June. So I was glad, I was relieved, I was done with this. I could move on. I stopped screen printing, I stopped taking orders. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna go and invest my time in this India trip. And it was fantastic, man. We went to India for about a month and a half, and it changed my perception on a lot of things and where I was, and it couldn't have been at a better time, because I really needed that trip. And somehow the universe just works in miraculous ways when your mind is open and you have good intentions.